Welcome to the You Empowered podcast with your host, Justine Jetty. If you want to unlock your potential and step into the most authentic, healthiest, and happiest version of you, then you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical, evidence-based strategies for your habits, mindset, and health so you can create a life and a body you love. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the You Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Justine Jetty, and today I'm going to be talking to every single woman who has ever said these words: I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. I know that this was me at many different points in my life, when I was shifting jobs and careers before I became a coach, when I started my health and fitness journey and my fat loss journey for the 1,100th time. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 things that I needed to overcome in order to get myself out of inaction. The very first reason that I was stuck in inaction, telling myself I knew what to do, I just wasn't doing it, was because I had a fear of failure and perfectionism. And a fear of failure and perfectionism can keep you stuck for many months and many years, because it's that voice in your head telling you that if you can't do it perfectly, why bother trying at all? So in order to overcome this, you must accept that mistakes are going to be a part of your journey. And this is true for a health and fitness journey. This is true if you want to change careers and upskill yourself. This is true if you want to meet a new partner and date. This is true in every area and aspect of your life. You need to accept that mistakes are going to happen. And rather than allow that to mean that something is wrong with you or to see it as a statement of your self-worth, you need to accept that mistakes are going to happen and that taking imperfect action will always beat you doing absolutely nothing. So a practical step that I want to give you in order to start to overcome this fear of failure and perfectionism is to focus on one thing you can do. Maybe it's one habit that you can start, and just focus on improving it by 10%. So let's say that you know that your diet is dog shit right now. It is you are eating junk, you are not eating well at all. Maybe just start with breakfast and add a bit more fruit into that, or add in a bit more protein into that meal. Just start with one thing, not shifting all of it. Or if you're inactive and you're sedentary right now and you know you want to get fitter and ideally get into the gym, but right now you're spending every single day on the couch, maybe it's just setting a timer and going for a 10-minute walk around your block. Just identify and focus on one habit, one small shift that you can make to get yourself from inaction to taking action. And when you do make a mistake, rather than spiraling into shame and guilt, I want you to ask yourself the question, what can I learn from this experience? Because the more that you will see your mistakes as an opportunity to learn and to grow, the more you will be able to detach your sense of self-worth from them. The second reason I was stuck in inaction was because I had a lack of belief in myself and my capabilities, and I was operating on really low self-esteem. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that it took just one thing or two things in order to shift that fully, because that is something that really does require a lot of inner work to shift in order to elevate your self-worth and really start to genuinely believe in yourself again. But I do want to give you 2 key things that help me to start to make that shift. And neither of the 2 things that I did in order to support myself starting to shift my lack of self-belief and low self-esteem was to stand in front of a mirror and give myself positive affirmation. That doesn't help you to actually make shifts and to move the needle closer to what you're trying to achieve. So I did not do that. What I did do instead, though, was I made small changes to my environment that were going to support me. So for example, I identified that walking in the morning was the best time for me to get in a walk. So I would have my walking shoes by the door, and I had my fitness gear laid out on my couch in the morning, so I could just slip into it, put my shoes on, and get out the door for my walk. I also made sure that the healthy snacks that I had were at the forefront of my fridge and my pantry, so that when I was feeling peckish and I opened the fridge door, I opened the pantry door, I had options that were healthy rather than options that weren't as healthy for me. So those are ways that I started to shift my environment in order to support myself with the goals that I was setting. So if you are struggling with a lack of self-belief and belief in your capabilities, the number one thing that is going to be a game changer for you, but also sound way too simple, is to take action. Because taking action is the quickest way in order to build your confidence, because you are proving to yourself in real time that you are capable of making changes. The second thing that I did, and I truly believe this to my core, I believe in the power of community. I believe in the power of surrounding yourself with like-minded people who can push you, who can hold you accountable, who can be that voice of reason, but also be that voice that tells you that you are capable and that you can do it. Because sometimes, especially when your inner critic is really loud and all you can hear is criticism in your own head, you need someone else in order to pull you out of that. Whether it is a coach or a professional, or whether it is a friend or a family member, you need at least one person who can support you, who can tell you, no, you've got this, I believe in you, and who can encourage you when you're struggling to encourage yourself. And if you don't feel like you have that support around you right now, go online, look on Facebook, look to see different forums, to see if you can find an online community of like-minded women that can support you in that endeavor, in that goal, or even look locally to see if there's any communities in your local area. Sometimes there's an abundance of local communities, but we just don't realize what's right at our fingertips. But it is so important to surround yourself with people who believe in you and who push you, and specifically who are on the same journey as you. So if you've got a fitness goal, or if you want to read more books, it would make sense to join a book club. If you've got a fitness goal, it might make sense to join a running club or an online community of women who are trying to get stronger and get fitter. So those are the two tips that I recommend if you're someone who is struggling with your self-belief or low self-esteem. The third reason that kept me stuck in inaction was I was struggling to manage my emotions. So whenever I was anxious or stressed, this could lead to overwhelm, and this would often lead to being quite paralyzing because it would just stop me following through on the things that I knew I needed to do. So in order to shift this to take action, you need to develop healthy coping strategies and to understand what your emotional needs are. So something that was very simple that helped me to start to emotionally regulate was to identify what emotion was coming up for me. So it might be, okay, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, or I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, whatever it was, or maybe I'm feeling angry or frustrated, whatever it was, the first thing to do was to label the emotion. The second thing, and this is really crucial here, is to not try and fix it. You're not trying to go into overthinking and intellectualize your feelings. You're just going to sit with that emotion and allow yourself to feel it fully. Maybe notice where you're feeling it in your body. If your chest is tightening up or you're feeling like you've got butterflies in your stomach, just notice where you're feeling it. The second practical tip that can help you in order to manage your emotions is a bit more mindfulness activities and breath work. This can support you, and these can take very short amount of moments. I know that there's a lot of wellness influencers that'll tell you got to meditate for an hour a day, but truthfully, you could implement this into your day-to-day routine to just spend 5 minutes doing breath work and breathing exercises. Doing this can really help you to start to manage your emotions so that your emotions don't rule you. The fourth thing that I needed to overcome in order to shift from inaction to taking action and to get out of the loop of I know what to do but I'm just not doing it is that I had unclear goals. Without clarity on my goals and a connection to why I wanted them and a clear sense of purpose in achieving them, it was basically impossible for me to be focused and to take aligned action and aligned steps forward. And this is where I see as a coach a lot of women who say to me, Justine, I'm really struggling with a lack of motivation. But truthfully, what they're struggling with is a lack of connection to their goals. If you don't have a strong why behind your goal, you will struggle to stick to it and stick to the action steps that you need to take in order to achieve it. I think it was Friedrich Nietzsche who had the famous quote that said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." So creating goals that are tied to your core values and that create a strong sense of why you want the goal is going to give you that intrinsic motivation that you need in order to start. So it is not that you are lacking motivation, it is that you are disconnected from why you want what you say you want. So here's how you can give yourself more clarity and more meaning behind your goals so that you ensure you build up that intrinsic motivation in order to go after them. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to identify what your goal actually is and make it as specific as possible. So to give you an example here, let's say you want to lose weight and be healthier. Now that is a really vague goal. It's a great goal, but it's a vague goal. So in order to create clarity for yourself on that goal, you're going to ask yourself the question, what does lose weight and be healthier actually mean for me? So as an example, with the lose weight part, you might get specific on exactly how much weight you want to lose or what the dress size is that you want to get to. With the be healthier part of the goal, you might recognize that actually I want to be able to play more with my kids and make healthier meals and teach them really healthy habits too. So do you see how we've taken a really vague goal, which is I want to lose weight and be healthier, to I want to lose 15 kilos, eat more nourishing meals, and have more energy to play with my kids. That is creating more specificity. I really struggle to say that word, specificity and clarity around that goal. Okay, the second thing that you're going to do to get more value now and really dig into your why behind this goal is, why is this goal important to you? And in the example, there's a little bit of a hint to that because I've already shared that part of the goal was to have more energy to play with the kids and teach them healthier habits. So right there, we've already identified a value there. But you could take it one step further and go, well, I want to lose the 15 kilos because I want to feel comfortable and confident in myself. I want to be able to apply for that promotion and I want to be taken more seriously. So do you see how we've gone from having a really vague goal of I want to lose weight and be healthier to I want to lose 15 kilos, I want to create more nourishing meals, and I want to have more energy to play with my kids and teach them healthy habits. And the reason why I want that is because I want to be a good mother and I want to be able to apply for that promotion and feel confident in applying for the promotion so that I can be taken more seriously at my job. So that is how you can create more clarity and more meaning for your goals to shift from inaction to taking action. The fifth thing that I identified that I needed to overcome, and I've already spoken about this on this podcast, is procrastination. And most people wrongly think that procrastination is a time management issue, but it's not. It's actually an emotional management issue. Now, I'm not going to get into procrastination today because I literally did a whole episode on how you can overcome procrastination. If you go back to episode 4 of this podcast series, you will find all the goodness to overcome procrastination in that episode. So we're going to move on to number 6, the 6th reason why I was stuck in inaction and what I needed to do in order to overcome my inaction of I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it, was that I had a lot of distractions and other priorities. Now, let's be real here. We all have a busy schedule. We all have responsibilities, some more than others, but we all have stuff that we've got on our plates, right? And a lot of us have competing priorities, work demands, family demands, social demands, study, hobbies, whatever it is, right? So learning how to prioritize effectively and set boundaries for yourself is going to help you to manage your time better and to be more productive. So the practical step that I want to give you when you've got a lot of distractions or a lot of other priorities that you're juggling is to look at really being the biggest protector of your calendar and to start to say no to events, tasks, activities that are not in alignment with who you are trying to become and the lifestyle that you are trying to create. Because the things that you have on your plate that are not in alignment and that are not your responsibility are just sucking your time and your energy. So this might be a little bit contrarian for you, but I actually created for myself a not to-do list. And I went through my calendar and I went through my daily habits and I created a not to-do list. And anything that was on that not to-do list, I either removed or reprioritized or delegated, whether that was delegation in my team or asking a family member or friend to do it if they could. But I shifted things around in order to protect my time and my energy so that I could prioritize myself. So the seventh and the final reason that I was stuck in inaction and I was stuck in the loop of I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it, was that I was lacking accountability and support. It took me far too long to realize that support is not weakness. Asking for help is not weakness. It's actually your greatest leverage. None of us get a trophy for doing shit on our own. There is absolutely no shame in asking for support. Without the right support and accountability, it's so much harder to stay on track and to reach your goals. It's kind of like trying to drive your car with the handbrake on. Now, friends are awesome, but they don't know how to lead you where you want to go, and they can also let you off the hook and not keep you accountable. It's so much easier to get out of your own way and reach your goals when you have an expert, a professional, creating that clear pathway for you and giving you the right support and guidance in order to overcome any obstacles along the way. And truthfully, if you're someone who wants to transform your body, your habits, your behaviors, your mindset, it's so much more than just calories and a training program. And if that's you right now, and you know deep down that you've been stuck trying to do things on your own for far too long, you are capable of more. And this is exactly the kind of work that I do with my clients. My coaching isn't about coddling you or hand-holding. It's about keeping you accountable, giving you real coaching and real direction to help you actually move forward without burnout, without guilt, or without perfectionism in an enjoyable and sustainable way. So if that's where you're at right now, you'll find the link in my show notes to book a free strategy call with me. In that strategy call, we will unpack what is keeping you stuck and what needs to shift for you in order for you to reach your goals, and whether or not my coaching is the right fit for you and where you're headed. Either way, you will walk away with clarity around the next steps that you need to take. Now, I hope you got a lot from this episode. If it landed for you, please do me a favor and share it with a friend who needs to hear this, subscribe, and come back next week. Until then, take care.